color in particular. And I do think, though, that the Democrats and the progressive movement shouldn't leave any voter behind. They have to be able to have a full court press. They can't just concentrate on white voters, and they can't just concentrate on people of color. It has to be a collective. And if you look at the increased generational divide, there is more women that are older that have a tendency of voting Republican, whereas younger women either don't vote or don't feel inspired. And that is why the March to the Polls is so important, because it's making people clear you don't like what's happening. You don't like the fact that your reproductive choice is literally on the ballot every year. You don't like the fact that all of a sudden, if you're a waitress, that your employer can take your tips under the new tax plan. The only way you fix it is by occupying that voting booth.
Yeah, absolutely. That tipping thing is dastardly. Liz Winstead, on that very point, you just had Donald Trump speak to the March for Life. This is the first time a president has appeared by satellite, sort of quasi in person. How difficult has it been on your end, and I know this is a big part of your advocacy, to really marshal women around issues of protecting the reproductive rights? It doesn't seem... It seems that the anti-abortion side of that argument has had an easier time mobilizing even women around that issue.
Well, I think what has happened is we've allowed them to, we've ceded the morality of just demanding who we are in our own agency to those people with the language. And I think now we are seeing a real shift with people not looking at saying abortion as a four-letter word, actually understanding that the first line of your own economic destiny is to make sure you're the one who decides when and if you can have children, if you're ready to. You know, when we look, for me, a lot of when we talk about the larger scope of how we trust women is when you look at these laws, so many of them especially are waiting periods for abortion, 24, 48, 72 hours. What that says is we really don't trust women. And if we start legislating the fact that we don't trust women with our reproductive choices, that is going to be part of our DNA when it comes to, do we really trust women then with anything? Running our banks, running our country. And I think that's a really, really big sign that we need to look at. And that's where we need to start fighting back.
Yeah, I want to ask each of you, just go around the horn and ask if you think that this energy that you're seeing, you just saw pictures from Denver. I believe we were looking at, my producer can tell me some of the other cities that we were seeing in this pretty big marches today. Is this energy sustainable? Kirsten, I'll start with you. Is it sustainable through November?